Hey there, welcome to Talking Texas Politics with Calvin. Still talking school bonds because it is school bond season. Early voting started yesterday. Election day is May 2nd. So check with your local county elections office and make sure you get out and vote sometime between now and May 2nd. So, one of the things that I've noticed over the years looking at these various school bonds is they all seem to have the same playbook. I'll call it the same narrative. And so, the reason that they have this narrative is because many of them will use the same consulting firms or consultants to help them get the bonds passed. And so, these consultants, they get paid. Some of them will get money up front. Some of them will get a lot of money on the back end if the bond gets passed. Now, let's not get too carried away here. This isn't millions and millions and millions of dollars that they get, but it is hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that they get, at least some of the numbers that I have seen. If you want to know exactly what they're going to get, the Pilot Point ISD or any ISD should have signed a contract with a consultant, and they should have to give you a copy. That's public information. So if you do a public information request through your local school district for the contract they signed with the consultant, you should get a copy of that. And that should tell you exactly how much money the consultant is going to get if it passes or if it doesn't pass. So these consultants are the ones who help create the narrative. And so I was reminded of this just yesterday because here in Pilot Point, there was a lot of energy around the Pilot Point ISD Political Action Committee as they were apparently handing out gift cards or raffling off gift cards if you were to vote yes for the bond, which technically is illegal, but hey, that's neither here nor there. But I was doing a little bit of research on the Pilot Point ISD Political Action Committee, and that is called Vote Yes for PPISD Kids. And so if you go to the Texas Ethics Commission webpage and you look for Vote Yes for, there is literally hundreds and hundreds of political action committees that are assigned to school districts to vote for school bonds. And so the reason is all of these similarities. The signs look the same. The slogans look the same. The for the children, it all looks the same because they all use the same consultants who use the same playbooks. And so the consultant that they're using in Pilot Point is probably the same consultant that they used in Valley View. I know there's more than one, but they all use the same playbook, and a lot of the smaller towns are probably using the same consultants. So, and what they will help them do is they will help them create this narrative. And I'm going to call it a false narrative or a fake narrative because that's what I believe that it is. But they will start with these astronomical growth numbers, just completely unrealistic growth numbers. And you'll hear them in Pilot Point. Last year we heard them in Valley View. So you'll hear these just astronomical growth numbers that are just completely unrealistic. And so that'll be their manufactured crisis, is that we got all these kids. We're going to have thousands and thousands and thousands of kids coming in, and we got no room for them. The people are going to be, basically sitting out in front of a shade tree in front of the school because we don't have enough room for them. And they'll just make up these just really false narratives and this crisis about just how bad and how horrible it's going to be if you don't pass one of these massive bonds and build these mega schools and $200 million high schools and things like that. And then what they will do, they'll get one of these political action committees, and people will contribute to that political action committee, and they will raffle off tickets to the local restaurant or whatever. Most of them don't do that, but they will spend money to get the bond passed. And so you may have, like, local realtors seem to be pretty popular about giving to these because they see a benefit. They may be working for some of the developments that are coming in, and they want to keep those developments growing, and they think that's going to be a selling point if they can get a school bond, although most of them don't actually pay the taxes into the school bond, or you may have an engineering firm or a construction company. I've seen them come in and actually help get these bonds passed with the assumption that they were going to get some of the contracts as a result of the bond. And if you've got $300 million, you can spread around a lot of money. And so these folks will contribute to these PACs. They'll buy signs, they'll have events, they'll host events, they will buy ads in the paper, things like that. So that's what these political action committees do. And then they've created this crisis. They've created this false narrative that the world's going to fall apart if we don't get a school bond. Everything's just really going to go to pot. And then if you question that, you're going to be attacked like you've never seen before. I mean, I have seen some of the most feverish attacks come at these school bonds. I mean, it's just amazing. People that are neighbors and are going to have to still be neighbors when this is all said and done, just feverishly attack one another over these school bonds. There's a lot of emotion that gets involved. I'm going to talk about that in a separate video, but I am not going to. I'm going to just keep talking about this narrative and this fake crisis that that they're creating. And so they start attacking people who question it. And what you'll have is you'll have people who are very pro school, very pro public education, really love the school district, and they'll say, well, geez, $300 million is a lot of money. And they will just come out like vultures on these people, like a pack of wolves attacking them for just asking simple questions about why do we need $300 million? And so that will be another part of this narrative that these consultants create. And they get these communities all stirred up and pitted against one another over these school bonds. And so I know that there's a lot of energy, particularly with this Pilot Point school bond. We're all going to have to live in the same community when this is all said and done. So keep that in mind. I don't support it. That is obvious. There are some people out there that do support it. But however this turns out, we are still going to have to live together. And if you look at who is contributing to these political action committees, you will see who's going to benefit from these bonds. And it's not the children, it's not the teachers, it's not the administration. Well, the administration may be getting some of this, but for the most part, it's going to be the people who are contributing to these bonds that are going to benefit from it. So keep that in mind, and keep in mind that you've got about 2 weeks, a week and a half or so to get out the vote. And that's not just for the Pilot Point ISD bonds, that's for bonds all around the state of Texas. And it is okay to vote no. The world will not end, and you will find that all of the crisis that you have been told will not happen in the school district. We'll figure it out because that's the law that they have to do that. So thanks for listening to me. I deeply appreciate it. God bless you, and God bless Texas.